Arduino for Beginners, Episode 20. How to Bluetooth control your Arduino board with an Android device. Now, what we are going to be using is a free program, online program called MIT App Inventor. This is completely free to use, and you'll find a link in the description below to go to the website. And the nice thing about it is you don't need to know coding. It's all drag and drop blocks clicked together out of menus. You don't have to type any code in. And we'll get to that after I demonstrate it working here and we get ready for it. I'll show you how easy it is. It's really easy. But you're going to need to connect an HC05 or an HC06 to your Arduino. And either one of those boards will work. And if you don't know how to connect the HC05 or 6, and I'm using an HC06, I have a video I've done on just that. So instead of going over it again, there's a link in the description below. So if you don't know how to hook up an HC05 or 6 to your Arduino, check that out. Then what we also have here is I put an LED on pin 13 between 13 and ground. This is optional because if you're using an Uno or Nano or Mega or whatever, it's going to have a built-in LED, but this makes it easier to see. The built-in one, it's on this strip here. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but it just makes it easier to see. All right, so once you get your HC05 or HC06 wired up to your Arduino, the first time you use it, you are going to need to pair it with your Android device. Now, you only have to do this the first time you set it up. So we will go into our settings. And let me find it here. It's kind of hard to see this upside down. Oh, there they are right there. And go under Bluetooth. Now make sure the Bluetooth is turned on. Mine is turned on. Now I renamed mine, my board, so I know which one it is. I actually have another video on how to do that too. If I remember, I'll put a link to that in the description below. But what we'll do is we'll click on that so it can pair. Now the password, I have ran into two different passwords on these. One of them is 0123 and the other is 1234. It just kind of depends the manufacturer, and these are mass produced in lots of different factories. They're the same board, they're just not all made in the same factory. And that's the two passwords I've ran into. Actually, it seems to be the 1234 is a little more common. I think the 0123, those I generally only run into on the HC05s. But mine is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll click OK. And it accepted it, and it's paired. So now we can exit out of that. Now, I've already got the app loaded up on here. So what I'll do, since I already got the camera set up, I'll demonstrate this working, and then we'll go over to the computer, and we'll take a look at how to use MIT App Inventor to make this. And it's only going to take you a couple minutes to put this together. It's real easy. I do have some other tutorials. I've done a series on MIT App Inventor, which goes into more on button placements and to make your apps look a little nicer. We're just going to do a super basic. I'll show you right here. This is what it looks like. This is just super basic. But after you try this, you want to do some more advanced stuff, make your apps look better, have backgrounds and position the buttons differently and stuff. Look in the description below. I'll have a link to that as well. There'll be a few links down there for all this different stuff, but check that out if you're interested in it. I've got, I can't remember, I think there's like 6 or 7 videos so far on that, and I'm going to start making some more of the MIT App Inventor videos soon. But the ones I have up there so far are a lot on the basics, on button configuration and linking to websites and sliders and audio and text-to-speech and stuff like that. But the first thing we need to do is we'll need to connect it. So when you can hit the connect button, it brings up a list here, and you can see there's my Bluetooth device. So I'll click on it. Now once it connects, that LED that's on there should stop blinking and go solid. There, Lynn, I hope you can see that. So now if we push LED on, LED comes on. You push LED on again, nothing happens because it's already on. Push LED off, it turns the LED off. Now like I said, I did set this up so it's super basic. If you get into the more advanced stuff with these apps, what you can do is you can have one button where when you push it once it turns it on, and you push it again, it just uses a database to store if the LED was off or on to send a different command. But for this one, I just did the 2 buttons to make it simple. And you can also add a disconnect button. Otherwise, just exit the app to disconnect, and then you have to reset the power on your Arduino board. That's all there is to setting it up and using it. So let's go over to the computer. What we'll do is we'll take a look at the MIT App Inventor first, and like I said, there's a link in the description below that'll bring you to their website. This is an online based program, and you'll just need to start and open an account with an email address. It costs no money. The reason you use an email address is because it saves your projects for you online. You can save them offline as well, but I like to keep a copy actually both ways. That way, if something happens to my computer, all my apps are saved online. So, all right, I'll catch you there in just a second. Okay, when you click the link that was in the description below, this is the web page it'll bring you to. You just go over here where it says Create Apps and click on that. It'll open up a new window. Now, I'm already logged in. What'll happen is the first time you log in, it'll ask you for an email address. And then from there, it will bring you into the MIT App Inventor, and then it will open up the last project you were working on automatically. And of course, the last project I was working on is the app for this tutorial. So the first thing we're going to do is over here in the properties, we're on the screen 1, and you won't have the list picker buttons, none of that. Just imagine that's not there yet. Now, just to make this simple, this originally was, I think, left, and this was top or something like that. I just switched them both to center. That's just centers them, makes it easy. So if you're going to be trying this, just do that. Just go center, center. Then right here, you put in whatever you want to name the app. Right here, you use your icon picture. You don't have to give it one. If you don't, it'll just use the MIT App Inventor icon. And the screen orientation, I set that to sensor, which means if you turn it whichever way you're holding it, it'll, if you're holding it as a portrait, it'll be portrait. If it's landscape, it'll be landscape. Otherwise, you can define it if you want to just keep it fixed. But I just went with sensor for this, make it simple. And everything else you pretty much just leave alone. If you're interested in, more things like adding backgrounds and stuff like that, like I said, look in the description below. I have some videos on that. Check them out. They're very helpful. So the first thing we will do, like I said, just imagine these ain't here, but what we need is the connect button. So, well, you'd first think, well, grab a button. No, you don't want to use a button. You need to use a list picker because we need to pick what we're going to connect to. And that's this right here. It's called list picker. You just left click on it and hold it down and drag it in. And means there'd be nothing on your screen. You just drop it anywhere, and it would instantly be the item up on top. Then we have 2 buttons, LED off and on. Now those are buttons. Then you drag that in and you'd put them underneath the list picker. But I've already got them on there, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that one, and delete the list picker. So for the list picker, You can change, if you want it the font bold. You can change the font size. You can change the color. Like I said, check out the other videos. It'll go into that more. But right here, I selected text alignment in the box, centered. And then the text for it, I just put in connect. Up here, if you want to, you could change that to bold, and you see it gets bolder. You could also increase the size. Let's say you wanted bigger. Go, let's say 20, and it would be bigger. And I have the the height and width are set as automatic, so it depends on the font size and how much text you have. Otherwise, you can adjust those too. But once again, check out my other videos for more information on that. Then on the buttons, again, I pretty much just left everything alone. I just went down here and changed the text on the first one, LED on, and the second button, LED off. And the only other thing we're going to need to do is we need to have a Bluetooth client in here. So you go over here and you see where it says connectivity. You click on that, and you want this one that says Bluetooth client. Do not select Bluetooth server. Bluetooth server will not work. That's for something different. And just click on it, drag it in, and just drop it anywhere on the screen. I've already got it on there, and what it'll do is it'll appear down here as a non-visible component. Now we are ready to go over to the blocks and actually tell the app what you want to happen when you push these buttons. So we go to the blocks. We got that one. They kind of overlapped on each other there for some reason. Let me straighten that out quick. There we go. Now, as you can see, you don't have to write code. It's all done in these blocks that you can click together. So what we do is for the list picker, for connecting to your Bluetooth device, you need to pull a before picking and an after picking. And what you do is you go into list picker here, you click on that, and it brings this menu up. So you drag in, once again you left click and drag that in, and left click and drag in the before picking. After that, I suppose I could have kept that open. You want, list picker 1 elements, and that is found right here, elements 2. And then you go for the Bluetooth, you click on the Bluetooth, go down into the greens, and you want addresses and names. And as you can see, you stick them together like this. This is really easy to do. Then for the after picking, which means you've selected what Bluetooth device you want to connect to, then we got the after picking block there. So what you do is you go back into the list picker, and you set the selection 2, list picker selection 2, and that's right here. This one right here. You drag that in, and then you go under the Bluetooth client, and let's see, that should be up right here, Bluetooth 1 connect. Drag that one in and click it and attach it to it. Then you want the selection that you just made. So once again, you go back to list picker and scroll down here. Where is that? Right here it is, right here. List picker 1 selection. As you can see, that's right there. That's all there is to connecting to the Bluetooth. So now you would be connected after you click on the list picker. Next, we have our 2 buttons. We're turning to turn the LED on and off. And all we're doing is we're just sending a numeric value. And, well, let's see here. So you go to button 1, and that'll be our LED on. And you go up to the top here, and you select when button 1 is clicked, and you drag that in. Then you go under the Bluetooth client, and where is that? Right here. This one you want send 2 byte number. Don't select 1 byte, don't select 4. The reason we're using 2 bytes is when we get into some more advanced apps where we're sending more values and having sensor data and stuff, this will allow us to send a bigger number than just a 1 byte number. Now the Arduino actually receives in 1-byte numbers through the Bluetooth. But when we get over there, I'll show you. It's real simple on how we convert the 2-byte number. So then what I did, put that in, and then you go under your math right here, and you drag in this blank box right there. So you drag that in, and you click it on there, but I already got that, so we don't need it. And then I put a value of 100 in here. Then you do the same thing with button 2. And what you can do is you can click, right-click on it and hit duplicate, and it'll duplicate it. You just need to go here under button 1 and change it to button 2. But we've already got that. And you see how it gives you that red X? That means you've got something ain't right. So just go ahead and get rid of that, delete it. And then for the value on this one, we're putting in 200. Now, if you use different values in here, remember them, because when we get over to the Arduino sketch here in just a moment, you are going to need to be looking for these values coming into the Arduino, and that's what's telling it to turn the LED on or off. All right, well, that's all there really is to this. I did kind of go through it quick, but like I said, I do have a series of videos on this, and one of them actually is on the Bluetooth connection. It goes into it more in depth, a little more step-by-step and slower. So if you're confused or anything, just check those out. There will be, like I said, there's a link in the description below, and it'll actually bring you to the website for this, and there's a whole list on there of all the episodes for the MIT App Inventor. And there's lots of things you can do with this. This is way more powerful than you think it would be. And it's set up to be easy to use, but it is really powerful, and you can make some really awesome looking apps that do lots of stuff. So, all right, with that, let's go over to the Arduino IDE and check out the sketch for that. And it's pretty simple and easy, so I'll catch you there in just a second. All right, I got the Arduino IDE opened up here, but before I forget, I forgot to mention how you actually upload the app to your Android device and to build it. Well, what you do here is, well, let me minimize that for a moment. You click under Build, and what you can do is you can get a QR code that you can scan with your Android device, and that will, once you click on it, it will download it to your phone. Otherwise, you can save the APK file to your computer and then use the cable connection or however you transfer your files to your phone or your tablet and transfer it that way. I generally, I've got a QR code reader on my tablet, and it just simplifies it. You activate the QR code reader, stamp a picture, and it just automatically downloads the app, and then you just click to install. Simple to do, and that's all you do. All right. With that, any other information you want to know about how the MIT App Inventor works, like I keep saying, check out my other videos. You'll find them extremely helpful. But let's get back over here to the Arduino IDE. As you can see, this is a nice short sketch. It's fairly simple. So what we're doing is, first we're defining the pin 13. That's what we have the LED on, so we're calling it LED, and that's being assigned pin 13. Then in the serial, or in the setup, excuse me, we're doing the serial.begin, and we're doing 9600. That is what my tablet just is automatically set up for. I've actually never tried changing it to a higher or slower speed, but 9600 works perfect. I would recommend just leaving that way. And if you want to, go ahead and experiment with it. Then we're also setting the pin mode, which is the LED. For pin 13, we're setting that as an output. Now we're going down to the void loop. Now what we're doing is we're doing an if. Serial.available is greater than or equal to 2. That means there is 2 1-byte numbers in the serial, which means that 2-byte number we sent is being read. Now it's detecting it as 2 1-bytes. And that's what this little formula here is. Don't change any of this or it won't work right. are doing is a serial read of both those numbers, and then with this little math calculation here, it's taking and bringing that number we sent, and we're calling it val. We're doing an integer. Val will be the number either 100 or 200, whatever we sent. This combines those two 1 bytes that it's receiving from the 2 byte number we sent, and I hope that makes sense to you. Just don't change this. And the reason I use this in all of my, even when I do simple like this, it's good to learn how to do it this way, because when you get into some more advanced stuff with this, when you're sending lots of different numbers and you're sending sensor readings and data and stuff like that, you are going to want to be using 2 byte numbers. And I also find they work smoother and better. I have gotten 1 byte numbers to work, sending back and forth between the Arduino and Android, but for some reason it actually likes the 2 byte better. Don't know why, it just does. So like I said, don't change this formula in here at all, just leave it alone. And after that, after it detects we have serial, we're doing an if statement and an else if. So if the value is equal to 100, that's the number we're receiving, it's digitally writing LED high. Else if the value equals 200, it's digitally writing LED low. And I just put a delay of quarter second in there. It don't matter when you hit the button send, even when this is delayed, the HC05 or HC06, your Bluetooth module, will have received that number, and it will store it until the Arduino pulls it in and reads it. So you could go a second delay on here if you wanted. I just put in a quarter second. Having a little bit of delay here, it helps make things a little more stable. All right, well, that's it. That's all there is to this. I hope this made sense to you. If you're having a little trouble with it, watch the video again. Otherwise, I do have some other videos on Bluetooth control. Check my channel out. I'm sure you'll find something on there to help you with this. So if you found this information useful, please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it big time. Consider subscribing. I do lots and lots of videos dealing with Arduinos, electronic circuits and stuff. And I'm going to be starting up doing my MIT App Inventor videos here again pretty soon. And I also do a few oddball things here and there. Like I just recently did one, how to convert a halogen work light over to LED. All right, well, I would like to thank you for joining us here today. I hope you have a great day, and remember, have fun building.